Hi everybody, Dr. Vuong here. I'm going to shoot a little short, quick video about maintenance. I get this question a lot about maintenance. And as you guys know, in my thinking in bariatric world, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is no such, number one, there is no such thing as maintenance in terms of weight loss surgery. In terms of weight loss surgery, there's no such thing as maintenance. If you ever say, I hope to maintain this weight, or when I get down to my goal weight, I just hope to maintain. So hope to maintain is your first step to weight regain. Good, huh? Hope to maintain is your first step to weight regain. Anytime anybody says, I sure hope to maintain at this weight, that's your first step to weight regain. Okay, now why is that important to understand? It's because well, it's because it's weight regain. You know, maintenance, there is no maintenance. I learned that from one of my patients when she said it in group one day. There is no maintenance. You have to always be working towards a goal. And even if your scale is not moving, your body is changing. Your body is changing whether you see it or not. You might be losing fat internally, not externally, because you have internal fat. That's what a fatty liver is. That's what a fatty omentum is. And you should always be working towards a goal, whether it's a weight loss goal or a psychological goal or educational goal, or a monetary goal, or a business goal, or a success goal. You should always be working towards a goal in terms of weight loss surgery. So let me give you a couple of things that you should be working on that's not weight related. Okay, self-confidence is a big one. So when people become morbidly obese, just agree with me that, like, when you're morbidly obese, a lot of times you don't like to stand up in front of a room and talk. You don't want people looking at you. You don't want to be in front of a photo. You want to be in the back row. You want to become a wallflower. You don't want to be noticed. You don't want to be called on at work. You don't want to volunteer. Most likely, some people do, but for a lot of people, it makes them feel very insecure. So a non-related weight loss goal would be work on your insecurities, work on your self-confidence, right? Work on your voice, finding your voice. Dr. Vuong, I need to find my voice. Speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself. Self-confidence, huge goal. That is not weight loss related. Education, you might have put off going back to school because you didn't think you could balance it all, including your weight. So how about going back for your education if you think that's important? I don't know if it's necessarily that important. Next number, success. Maybe you always wanted a job or promotion or a different type of job, and you just never had the self-confidence to go for it, right? These are non-weight loss weight loss related goals that in my opinion are even more important than the weight loss. So number two, if you will focus on these other goals, your weight loss becomes a secondary benefit. Your weight loss is a side effect. Your weight loss is a side effect of you being a badass. Your weight loss is a side effect of you being self-confident, learning how to cook, like confident in the kitchen, confident in the garden, confident in your choices, speaking up for yourself, speaking up for what you want, telling your teenage kids to quit bringing junk food into your house, because that's your house, not their house, your house. And if you will do that, if you tell your husband, if you will take your abusive husband to court, if you will do the things that are necessary, then weight loss becomes a side effect. Weight loss is a side effect of weight loss surgery. Your primary goal is to be a badass, right? Weight loss becomes a side effect. So it's not the primary goal. The primary goal is to change your fucking life. There is no such thing as maintenance. Weight loss is a side effect. Number three, I got good news for you. Dr. Vuong, why so angry today? Because the president just fucking said to inject yourself with Lysol. Crazy times. So, number 3. It's the analogy of the space shuttle, the rocket ship. If you look at the space shuttle and it's taking off and it's launching, it's got these 2 canisters on either side of the weight of the space shuttle. What is that? It's all fuel. It's all huge tanks of fuel to propel the space shuttle up so it breaks gravity. Now, did you know that the space shuttle uses 80% of its fuel just to launch, to lift off? 80% of the fuel is used to lift off. Once it reaches a certain height, the canisters break away, fall off, right? And then the space shuttle goes into orbit with boosters, okay? This is a great analogy for everything in your life, for business, for success, for your weight loss journey. When you were morbidly obese, 5'6", 250, 300 pounds, most of your energy was burnt on takeoff. By that I mean deciding to have weight loss surgery, calling your insurance companies, making the appointment to go see the doctor, not getting discouraged when you find out that your insurance doesn't cover it, or you had to go to a different doctor, or you needed referrals, or you needed a 6-month diet program, or you needed to pay for a psych eval, or all the other bullshit things they make you go through. Most of your energy is burnt up there. And that's why when you guys eventually get to a weight loss surgery, you're like, yes! It's like a new birthday. It's like a new holiday. You get to celebrate it. You're so excited. It's like you reached orbit. But you haven't. Because once the space shuttle reaches orbit, guess what? You got to guide it. You got to guide it to go where it needs to go, to get to the moon, or get to the space station, or to orbit, or to reach orbit. You can't just let go of the steering wheel. Once your car gets going to 60 miles an hour, you don't sit there and just let go of the steering wheel. Be like, oh, well, it's a straight highway. I'll just take a nap. I mean, outside of self-driving cars. But you get the analogy. You've burnt up most of your fuel. So now you're like sitting there, 9 months into this journey, 12 months into this journey, you're sitting there drinking protein shakes because you're sick of drinking protein shakes because that's what your program told you to drink. And now you're wondering, like, oh, my God, is this what I signed up for? Protein shakes? When do I get to start eating like real food? Like, when can I, like, you know how many questions I get? Dr. Vuong, can I have salad yet? I'm like, dude, why are you asking me? Ask your surgeon. What does your surgeon recommend? So most of your fuel is burnt up in liftoff. Now, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. Even though I just said there's no maintenance, once you get to the good life, it's just not that hard. It's just not that hard to stay skinny. Now, this is very contradictory to what a lot of people sit there and talk about. Like, oh, no. Like, it's everyday struggle. You got to work on this every day struggle. Well, that's one approach to life. I mean, if you want to make it an everyday struggle, I think you have to stay vigilant about it every day. I think you have to look at it every day. I think you have to be mindful about it every day. But is it really an everyday struggle? I mean, think about it. Is it really that hard to make a green smoothie? Is it really that hard to eat a lot of vegetables and salads? It's probably not. I mean, I don't think it is. Is it really that hard to control yourself around, like, sugary foods and carbs foods and stuff? So there's a video I showed my following about a little tiny garden in the middle of a city in Australia where it's like so overgrown, so productive, so much stuff. I can't decide if I want to be in the light or not. So productive, right? That it's super productive in terms of growing vegetables. And the reason why I showed people that video is this. She said everyone thinks that she spends so much time in her garden that it must take a lot of time to maintain. And it's this little garden, but it's full of vegetables and fruit trees, and she's got quail. I'm going to look at having quail. But she says, everybody thinks I must spend so much time in the garden. And she says, no, we counted up. We average about 4 to 5 hours a week in the garden. A week in the garden. And I started thinking about it. And I was like, Yeah, you know, let me show you my garden. I mean, I pretty much, on the side of my house here, see my, look at that. Oh my God. Look how different my garden looks compared to when I started. And that's only one side. And I've got stuff over here, right? And I got some other stuff. I've got eggplants and peppers and stuff over on the other side. And I literally spend maybe not even 30 minutes a day in the garden. Like, the longest thing I have to do is to water it all. And because once you get the garden going, I mean, it doesn't take that much. It all does it all by itself. It just needs some good soil, some sunshine, and a little bit of water, and you know, you gotta keep the weeds down, and you got to you know, look after some bugs, throw some snails across the lawn, whatever. But you know, it's just not that much to maintain. It's a great analogy for your weight loss journey. It's everybody is going to tell you you look great. It must have been hard work. And how do you maintain, and how do you keep it off? And it's so tempting to sit there and say, oh, it's hard work. Because it makes people go, makes you feel special, because people go, oh my God, I don't have that sort of discipline. How do you do it? How are you so amazing? And the secret is, dude, it's not that hard. And it's true in businesses. When someone says their business is hard, it's because they have it set up wrong. But a business, you should, like a bakery, you shouldn't be the one baking. That's working in the business, not on the business. This is in the book E-Myth Revisited. So when someone says their business is hard, they're doing it wrong. Because it should be easy. The hard work is setting it up. That's the building. That's the liftoff of your business. Getting the right people in the right place, the right systems in place, the right checkout, whatever the process is for whatever business it is, it's the setup that's hard. But once you get it launched, dude, it should be floating automatically. You know? And then it's just really up to your growth. Like, how much do you want to grow? But your everyday maintenance, I mean, it should be pretty easy. I mean, McDonald's is run by a bunch of teenage kids. You know, how hard is it? It's not that hard. But a local coffee shop owned by a entrepreneur, boy, that's hard work. And it's because the system's not set up right. So your surgery has set you up. Now, what you do with it, it's up to you. You want to keep making it hard? I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, if you have weight loss surgery and you never tell your husband to quit bringing in junk, you never tell your teenage kids to quit bringing in junk, and you keep going to the same fast food, keep going to the same restaurants, and then a year later you wonder why you stalled, or 2 years later you wonder why you were gaining weight. It's the same analogy, dude. Like, you just didn't set up your business right. You didn't set up your environment right for success. Maintenance is simple. Maintenance is easy, to the point where I sit there and say there is no maintenance. To the point, and by that I mean, like, you should move on. You should move on to, like, other things that are much more important in your life. Systems and procedures. Your garden will take care of itself if you just give it some simple little maintenance. A simple little attention, a little attention every day. And then, do you want to trellis it? Do you want to grow fruit trees? Do you want to espalier? That's work. That's more work. Do you want to lay down brick? Do you want to move stone? Do you want to dig a well? Do you want to dig a pond? But the garden that you started, all that, and if you look at my old videos and old pictures, that wasn't here a month ago, was it? 2 months ago? It didn't look like that. Dude, look at that. That's crazy. This is maybe 30 minutes a day. This side would be 10 minutes. That side would be 10 minutes. And the other side would be another 10 minutes. 30 minutes total for my entire garden to make it look like that. So here's the paradigm shift for you in weight loss surgery. What if I'm fucking not thinking about my weight loss surgery right? What if I'm not thinking about my weight loss surgery right? What if it's not hard? What if I just need to set up my environment for success? Make it automatic. Green smoothies for breakfast. Lots of fruits and vegetables. No junk in the house. Is it that simple, Dr. Vuong? No junk in the house? Yes, it's that simple. You're fucking quarantined. Who's bringing in the junk? Why are you making this hard? I mean, put a comment if you've been in a group on Facebook and everyone's bitching and complaining that they're gaining weight. Put a comment if you're in a group on Facebook and people, weight loss surgery forum on Facebook, and people are complaining that they've gained weight during this quarantine. Dude, seriously? Come on. That's because they're making it hard. They're setting themselves up to fail. They're like that mama and pop coffee shop that never got the systems down, and now they're angry at Starbucks, who's destroying their business. It's growth, man. It's called growth. It's called growing up. All right? It's called looking for better information. It's called systems and processes and procedures. It's called self-confidence. It's called self-love. You don't bring that shit in my house. How hard is that? Dr. Vuong, you don't get it. You know, I've got a teenage son that loves to bring junk in the house. Who's the fucking parent here? Who's the parent? You don't bring that shit in my house. You've had weight loss surgery, but it's okay for your teenagers to be obese? Are you kidding me? It's a standard expectation. I've had weight loss surgery. Mom's had weight loss surgery. You don't bring junk in the house. That's not that hard. You don't like it? Well, you make your own money. You go get a job and spend money however you want. So, there is no maintenance because you should always be growing. You should always be working on any weight loss surgery goals. If you get the systems and procedures set up, it should be automatic. It should be very simple. And then you can take your attention and focus and move on to other things that are bigger and more important in your life. You got it? Rant over. Stay safe. And remember, don't inject yourself with disinfectant. That's bad. That's bad. Bad advice. Dr. V, good advice? Disinfectant, bad advice. Injecting, disinfectant, bad advice. Cool? All right. See y'all next time.